Who were the best and worst graded PFF players from week number 4 versus the Philadelphia Eagles? Let's talk about it. Shout out to Sleeper, by the way. More on them a little bit later on in this video. So, folks, I know I'm a little bit late on this one. I'm probably going to have the preview out tomorrow, by the way, as well. Just been behind schedule this week. It's been a weird week, so to speak. But let's go ahead and get started with the offensive side of things. The top graded offensive player from week number 4 versus the Philadelphia Eagles was Bucky Irving with a 69.6 overall grade. Now, he didn't play the full game, did play 44 total snaps, but still had an overall solid game. His pass blocking was not really that good, all things to be considered, but we kind of expect that from Irving. His running grade was still really solid with a 65.0. Run blocking was good at a 60. And in the passing game, look, an 86.9. That was far and away the best passing grade for the team in week number 4. So shout out to him for that. Tristan Wirfs came back and was just number 2 on the offensive graded players for the Bucs this week. So shout out to him for that. A 64.1 offensive grade. Looked overall really solid as a pass blocker with a 68.1. Did leave some stuff to be desired as a run blocker with a 57.1, but it's his first game back. He's got some rust. I'm going to, give him a pass, all things considered, on this game. He still was the second best graded offensive player from this matchup. Checking in at number 3 is Rachaad White with a 63.9 grade. In the passing game, he had a 62.8, not bad. Overall solid run grade as well, the 62.8, but his pass blocking at an 80. It was actually the best pass blocking grade for the Bucs in this game. We talk about Rachaad and his overall value to this team, and it just keeps on showing up every week, in my opinion. But before we dive into that deeper, I do want to say shout out to Sleeper, the proud sponsor of this channel. If you guys do use the code MrBucs, you will get a $100 deposit match up to $100. That is, again, whenever you use the code MrBucs. Guys, go download it today and enjoy football the way it was meant to be. That is together. Huge shout out to Sleeper for being the proud sponsor of this channel. Now, Rachaad White, look, he's going to be the starting running back in week number 5. We're going to be talking about it in a separate video, but Bucky Irving was ruled out for this upcoming game versus the Seahawks, so we're going to be seeing a lot of Rachaad White going forward. Baker Mayfield checks in at number 4 with a 60.4 offensive grade. Overall, just a fine game for Baker, all things considered. And Payne Durham actually checks in at number 5 with a 60.1. Had a very solid pass blocking grade of 71.1, the second best pass blocking grade for the Bucs in this past week, and a 57.9 run blocking grade. That's what Payne Durham's here to do, baby. He is here to block. Now, for the defensive side of things, how about this guy, huh? Elijah Simmons. Oh, I guess I should give the lowest graded. So Charlie Heck is the lowest graded offensive Buck from week number 4 with a 42.3. Really bad pass blocking. He had the second worst pass blocking grade on the team this past game, a run blocking grade of 49.0. Not good. Luke Haggard was the second lowest graded Buck at a 42.6 on the offense, a okay pass blocking grade at 51. Given the circumstances of the player that Luke Haggard is, it's serviceable, but a run blocking grade of 38.4, not very good. Ben Bredesen checks in at number 3. I'm seeing a pattern here. 45.8 offensive grade. Actually a decent pass blocking grade of 62.8. The run blocking was really bad at a 38.5. Graham Barton checks in at number 4 with a 47.7 grade. Horrible pass blocking grade at an 18.4. That is like insanely bad. Insanely bad. It's obviously worst on the team. That is insanely bad pass blocking grade. He actually had a pretty solid run blocking grade of 62.3. Finally, Cade Otton, which I feel like Cade has been in the bottom 5 a couple of weeks in a row now, but it continues, still contributing really nothing to the passing game with a 48.0. Pass blocking of 48.5. Run blocking was actually pretty solid with a 58.9. Now to the defensive grades. Now we can talk about this. Elijah Simmons. Where in the world did you come from, young man? 14 total snaps for the Buccaneers in this matchup, and the dude was electric. An 89.9 overall defensive grade. Second best run defensive grade on the team with an 83.3. Tackling was, okay, all things to be considered. He had a 65.9 overall tackling grade, and the pass rush at a 66.2 is still serviceable. Still serviceable in the top 5 in terms of pass rushing grades. So Elijah Simmons, maybe we'll see more of him going forward. The dude had a very impressive showing here in his first game in Tampa Bay, or at least his debut, I should say, on the defense. Next, you've got Jacob Parrish, with the Bucs are going to definitely need to see more of him. An 89.7 defensive grade, fantastic stuff, all things considered. Solid run defense is 62.6. Tackling was on point with a 77.3, fourth best on the team. And the dude was an absolute stud in coverage with a 90.9 overall coverage grade. Parrish is great, man. Parrish, I feel like, has been showing up a lot in the top 5 defensively throughout this season, and he is getting very good marks here. Tyke Smith is right behind him with an 85.8. You look across the board, he did everything really well. 81.9 run defense, 83.5 tackling, very good pass rush at a 90.8, and then his coverage grade was fine at a 65.9. Vita Vea checks in next at a 76.7. The run defense was not great for Big Vita, 56.4 grade. Tackling at a 70.2. Pass rush was great at an 82.9. He did a really good job in terms of pass rush in this past game. Had 2 sacks, so you love to see that. Zion McCollum checks in at the number 5 spot, 76.6. Run defense, 67.4. Tackling, very solid at 77.0. And coverage at a 76.9. That was third best on the team. I do want to shout out Chris Braswell here. He is still figuring out pass rushing with a 54.7. But he did have very good grade of 73.4 and a run defense of 74.8 as well. Still very solid in tackling at a 69.6. So I did want to make a note of that. For the bottom 5 defensively, Yaya Diaby was the worst graded defender in week number 4. 38.9 overall defensive grade. The only thing, pass rushing grade of 47.2 is rough. It's the worst on the team coming out of week number 4. Coverage, I don't really care. I mean, he shouldn't be dropping back into coverage, in my opinion. He only had 5 coverage snaps. It is what it is. The run defense at a 62.2 is interesting because typically Yaya is pretty solid in terms of the run defense. He's usually towards the top. He checks in at number 9 from this week, so I think it was just a rough week, all things considered, from Yaya. Elijah Roberts checks in at a 50.9 overall grade. His best was tackling. Solid pass rush, by the way. He was the 4th best pass rusher on the team in the game, but he needed a little bit more all around. That 45.7 run defense is leaving some stuff to be desired. Greg Gaines checks in at number 3, tied with Logan Hall with a 54.5 defensive grade. Hall was just a terrible tackler in this game. 22.9 tackling grade is rough. And these two just look very similar, besides the fact that Greg Gaines has a much better tackling stat. I mean, there's not much separating these two. Anthony Nelson checks in at a 55.7. Meh, it is what it is at the end of the day. And then Jamel Dean checks in, I'm going to say at number 6. He did leave the game with injury, so take it with a grain of salt. Dude, Levante's here again. I mean, Levante is there at number 7. I mean, look at these tackling grades, everybody. My goodness, Levante has been struggling to tackle this year. He's looked really bad this year so far. I mean, the run defense is still there. The coverage is getting worse. The pass rush is getting worse. The tackling is falling off of a cliff. I mean, dude, he's 35, going to be 36 years old at the end of this year. Is this age really coming in? Maybe so, dude. Maybe so. But wanted to mention Levante. He's down here yet again. Special teams. Let's go ahead and talk about special teams here, because there was another blocked punt. Did just want to make a note of that. John Bullock checks in with a 79.4 overall grade, so shout out to him. Rashad Wisdom was there. He's unfortunately on the IR right now, which sucks. Josh Hayes is there, Benjamin Morrison is there, and Jacob Parrish checks in. The lowest graded special teams guys, Evan Deckers. We talked about this in terms of the film review with that blocked punt. Evan Deckers did miss the block on the blocked punt, so it does make sense that he is down here. Devin Cole wasn't doing a lot of great stuff on special teams. Ryan Miller is down here towards the bottom. Anthony Nelson is down here, and Marquise Watts is down here as well. I'm curious, yeah, Riley Dixon with a 48.4 overall punting grade. How has he looked this year? Pretty mid, all things considered. So it is what it is. And then McLaughlin, dude, he's so back. I mean, McLaughlin is so back. I mean, he had a rough first 2 games, but then the next 2, he's an absolute all-star. I mean, elite punting grade of a 95.3. So that's all well and good. Cameron Johnson, by the way, I want to see where this guy is, because I'm like the #1 Cameron Johnson hater. Great punting grade of a 91.0. So shout out to Cameron Johnson. He did a pretty good job. So, folks, that's it. Those are your PFF grades, the best and the worst. What were your guys' thoughts and opinions about this? Are there anybody that you are worried about? Let me know. I'd love to hear it down in the comments section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed. And as always, guys, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.